Good morning. This is Mike Houston with your Sunday morning weather hazard briefing for southeast Idaho. Looking at the key points for this forecast period, we expect another storm tonight through Monday morning. Then unstable conditions will lead to a chance of snow showers Tuesday and Wednesday. Uncertainty reigns for the latter half of the week, and below normal temperatures are expected to continue throughout the forecast period. Looking at satellite imagery this morning, we get a depiction of that trough and storm system that was sweeping through the region overnight. That'll quickly exit the region here this morning. I'll show you a depiction of that here in a minute. Looking further upstream, we see the low-pressure system off the southwest Oregon coast. That'll shoot another wave of instability and a disturbance up to our region overnight tonight, and we'll take a look at that here as well. Looking at our weather risk outlook, it's indicative of moderate impacts across the region today, primarily in the wake of the snow. We're going to see some breezy winds, so that is going to cause some areas of blowing and drifting snow and probably wreak havoc across some of our rural highways. We'll see some lingering impacts into Monday morning after that second wave comes through. And then as the low weakens, as we work out into midweek, we'll just see a chance of snow mainly for our mountainous areas. Okay, looking at the forecast charts for this morning, we have a low-pressure system off the northwest coast. We had a disturbance pass through the region overnight tonight. And then we can see for this coming night, we have another disturbance set to move up into the region, as well as a third disturbance parked off the coast. Looking at the forecast radar for this morning, we can see what that band of precipitation, or what's left of it, beginning to exit southeast Idaho through the morning hours and into the noontime today. That will just leave us with the wind, which is what we are expecting this afternoon. The snowfall behind that exiting system looks like about 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches up here in the Island Park area. Not expecting much of any appreciable additional snowfall here across the Burley area and Pocatello area today. However, like I said, we do expect winds this morning. The models have been pretty steadfast in trying to forecast fairly breezy conditions throughout the Snake River Plain this morning, which taper off this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see if those kick in. Right now, that's what we're planning on, and hence we have a slew of warnings and advisories out across the region. These pink colors are indicative of warnings that we have out for snow and blowing snow, and then the purple colors here are indicative of advisories, so lower amounts of snow with, again, blowing and drifting anticipated for this afternoon. All right, storm track advancing to Monday. So we see the remains of that disturbance that has passed through the region overnight, now exiting off into Wyoming. And what's left of the low sitting off the northwest coast here in a weakened state. Here's a radar depiction of that disturbance working its way through southeast Idaho overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. You can see that band of precipitation pushing up into the Montana-Wyoming border region by tomorrow morning. In its wake, we expect somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 to 3 inches here along the mountainous areas. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a little more than we're depicting here, but right now this second wave here looks to be a little weaker than the one we experienced last night. We do expect to see some wind gusts with this. Here we are looking at wind gusts anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour throughout the Snake River Plain and eastern highlands. So a little bit of wind to kick around this new snow, and we'll have to continue to watch for impacts with that. As we work our way out to Tuesday, what's left of the low is sitting off the coast here. We're sitting under a very broad upper-level trough, which will be supportive of scattered shower activity primarily across our mountainous regions here on Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Snowfall totals here on Tuesday look to be fairly weak. with generally trace to 1 to 2 inches in some of our mountainous regions. Here we are looking at Wednesday. What's left of the low now working its way through Idaho. And once again, we are expecting some light snowfall. I did want to point out this low pressure system here that's working off the Canadian coast out into the Pacific. That'll come into the discussion here on the next couple slides. But for right now, snowfall amounts on Wednesday, pretty light, once again confined to the mountainous regions. Okay, that low that I pointed out works off the coast here on Thursday and generally gives us a lull in activity across southeast Idaho. But as we work our way into Friday and Saturday, what happens with that low is really up for question. We have one model that drives it south and east into the Great Basin, so we'll have an active trough pushing through Idaho and Utah. And we have another model that drives the low further south and west and then east to a position off of Vancouver Island. And what that does is draw this strong Pacific flow, and it's moist, I might add, up into the northwest states and eventually up over the top of a shallow ridge into southeast Idaho sometime Saturday. So really some oddly different solutions are still coming up in the models, and we're not quite sure how this is all going to pan out by the week's end. Okay, in summary, we have another storm tonight through Monday, with Monday morning that is, and then unstable conditions will lead to a chance of snow Tuesday and Wednesday. Uncertainty reigns for the latter half of the week, as I was just discussing, and throughout the entire forecast period, we're expecting below normal temperatures. All right, that's all I had for you this morning. If you had any comments or questions or even some concerns, you can go ahead and give us a call here at the number on the screen. Thank you.